All right, let's get right into it. Today, we're dissecting a scene that honestly is the key to unlocking the whole mystery of Hamlet's character. And if you're shooting for that A-star grade, understanding this moment is, well, it's non-negotiable. So the entire play really hangs on this one question. Why does Hamlet wait? I mean, think about it. He's got every reason in the world to act. A murdered father, a direct command from a ghost to get revenge, and yet he hesitates. Unpacking that hesitation, that's what separates a good analysis from a great one. So where does Shakespeare give us the crucial clue? Well, the answer arrives, of all places, with a troupe of traveling actors. It's just brilliant. Shakespeare uses them to give us a masterclass in how theater can explore reality, action, and emotion. And this brings us to a really critical literary device, metadrama. Put simply, it's a play that knows it's a play. But Shakespeare isn't just being clever here. Not at all. He's using this play within a play as a powerful mirror to, quite frankly, brutally expose Hamlet's internal struggles. And look, Hamlet himself tells us exactly why theater is so important. He sees it as this way to capture and reveal the essential truth of a moment. The irony, though, he's about to face a truth about himself that he really can't bear. Okay, so this brings us right to the performance itself. This is the moment that lights the fuse. Hamlet asks the first player to recite a speech about the fall of Troy, and specifically about Queen Hecuba's grief for her slaughtered husband. This performance, it becomes the catalyst for everything that follows. The player's description of Hecuba's grief is just so profound, it would literally make the stars weep and move the gods to passion. And as he delivers these lines, he is overcome with real emotion, his voice breaking, tears in his eyes. And this display of raw feeling is just this stark, shocking contrast to Hamlet's own inaction. Now, for your analysis, and this is prime A-star material, you've got to notice the style of this speech. It's deliberately old-fashioned or antique. It's built on active verbs, these grand classical similes and descriptions of physical, external action. Its entire purpose is to generate direct, unthinking emotion. It's a world away from Hamlet's own style of endless introspective debate. So here's the crucial point. Let's just boil it down. The player, motivated by nothing more than a fiction, a character in an old story, produces a passionate, physical, and completely authentic response. He feels it in his soul. That is a crucial point. So you have to imagine Hamlet just watching this raw display of emotion. And as soon as he's alone, the comparison to his own situation becomes absolutely unbearable. This performance doesn't just move him, it triggers an absolute explosion of self-loathing. And this is the furious opening of Hamlet's second major soliloquy. He's not just sad here, he is disgusted and furious with himself. The player's passion for complete fiction has utterly shamed him. And this highlights the central contrast you need to unpack for top-grade essay. You've got the player, with a fictional motive, who weeps. And then you have Hamlet, with the most real motive imaginable, a murdered father. And yet, as he says, he can say nothing. He's paralyzed, turning all that potential energy for action inward into self-hatred. This powerful juxtaposition reveals the fundamental conflict right at the core of Hamlet's character, and in doing so, it gives us a clear diagnosis for his famous delay. Here's the key insight. Hamlet's problem isn't a lack of feeling or simple cowardice. It's that he feels and thinks too much. His deeply philosophical, contemplative mind gets in the way of the impulsive, violent action that revenge requires. And this isn't a new idea. The great romantic critic Samuel Taylor Coleridge argued that Hamlet's vivid imagination completely overpowers his will to act. The thought of the deed becomes so huge and complex that it just swamps the deed itself, leading to total paralysis. And the ultimate irony? After this painful realization that overthinking is his core problem, what's Hamlet's grand solution? To stage a play. He immediately retreats back into his intellectual comfort zone, creating yet another layer of thought and proof instead of taking action. It's incredible. He turns back to art, using the very tool that just exposed his inaction to delay that action once again. Instead of a sword, he chooses a script. He feels he needs more evidence, more certainty before he can possibly act. And this leaves us with the ultimate question for your essay. Is Hamlet's plan to stage the mousetrap a clever tool for justice, Or is it the most sophisticated, intellectual, and characteristically Hamlet-like act of procrastination imaginable? Your answer will define your entire interpretation of the character.